Hello, my name is Emily, and this is my personal literacy story. Ever since I was little, I knew I wanted to be a teacher. I always excelled in school because I had a natural interest in learning new things and working hard to complete tasks. I was 2 years old when my sister was born, and ever since then I have been her teacher. Whether it was teaching her how to ride a bike, or hold her pencil properly, or how to play notes on the piano, I was always there to help her learn new things. I loved growing up as the older sister because even through teaching my sister things, I would discover new ideas or ways of thinking. As a child, I loved to read and write and create. One of the formats I liked to use to express myself was writing plays. I would write scripts by hand and then make my sister perform the plays with me. It started out just reading the scripts together, sometimes using funny voices, and over the years became a full production where we would set up a stage and have set changes, lighting, costumes, makeup, and even music. We began to write our own songs that would include a basic piano melody and us singing original lyrics. We then took it even further to set up a whole theater in our basement with chairs and a curtain across our stage. We made tickets out of construction paper and had a concession stand set up with snacks to sell during intermission. Although we only ever had a few family members in the audience, we gave our everything throughout every step of the playmaking process, from script writing to concession stand snacks. I then joined drama club in grade 3 and continued with drama through to grade 12. Drama was a creative and expressive way of bringing text to life. I was always involved in the acting part of drama, but I was more intrigued by the scripts. I loved to read scripts and write my own. In English class, whenever we had to read Shakespeare, I was the only one who would be excited. Looking back, I realized that the reason I was so fascinated by plays was because it allowed me to completely dive into a character who had different experiences than I did and explore a new world through this character. This was consolidated for me when I entered my grade 10 history class. I remember from the first day being bored by the content. My teacher was not very engaging, and the majority of my assignments we had to do was in the format of a quiz or a test. And I did not feel motivated to learn in this class. I often got discouraged when I didn't do well on the tests. Towards the end of the term, we were required to choose a historical event and write a creative piece to show our knowledge. There were a few formats that were suggested for this piece, including a letter, a newspaper article, or an essay. After class, I asked my teacher if it would be okay if I could write a play script. Hesitantly, she said okay, and I began working immediately. On the day it was due, everyone came to class and handed in their one-page letter that had burnt edges and they'd stained with a tea bag. I was the only one who decided not to do a letter, and it made me nervous when I handed in my 20-page script. After a few weeks of waiting, our teacher returned our projects, and I had got an A+. Although I was happy with my mark, that isn't the reason I'm telling this story. The important part is that I was able to use my interests of plays to fully engage with the course content and intrinsically motivate myself to complete a much more complex task than what was expected. This shows the importance of allowing students to be active learners and be driven by their own curiosity. All classrooms will have a diverse set of learners with different interests and learning styles. By allowing students to choose either the topic or format of their learning, they are more likely to be engaged and motivated. As a teacher candidate, my goal is to use my past experiences to shape how I approach teaching. Through the sharing of my personal literacy story, I am able to see how important it is to get to know your students and their interests so that you can use their preferences to better engage them in classroom learning. Drama played a big role in my learning because it allowed me to explore the perspectives of others. I think that the use of drama in literacy settings is extremely beneficial because it brings characters to life and we can learn through those characters. Whether you are just reading a script, like I did as a child, or fully diving into a character, you are learning to take the perspective of another person. Through drama, students are not only encouraged to learn about acceptance of others through perspective taking, but they are also using the 4 C's of 21st century learning, which are communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. One day in my future classroom, I will use drama and literacy to introduce students to new perspectives, as well as hopefully inspire them to explore topics through the process of making a play. Thank you for listening to my personal literacy story.